Okay, practice number 2. We just did a gratitude exercise to help us change the channel in our brain. I needed that this morning. And this is something I started writing. I'm going to put in the Handbook of Healing with Mayan mantras, and I'm realizing and other tools we can use for restoring balance and harmony in our lives. And my battery's getting low, so hopefully we'll get through this morning. So this is chapter 3 if you've gone out and purchased it, and if you haven't, highly recommend it. Whew, good stuff. You ready? Your energy field as the co-creator of your circumstances. The power of your thoughts and words as tools of manifestation and breaking the patterns that create unwanted outcomes. That's kind of in the beginning of each chapter. It gives us, I guess, maybe a little summary of what's to come in that chapter. And one thing I want you to hear as I read this, hi sweetheart, go ahead and join us. You cannot do this life wrong. And so there'll be things in here you hear that may feel a little harsh, or you may turn them into judgment towards self. But hang in there for the full reading. And remember throughout, even when you notice something, an unwanted outcome, you can still choose to not judge that. You can still choose to be gentle with yourself, softening around what's showing up and going back to your heart center, which is what today's exercise is about. So, a vast interdimensional conversion in consciousness is presently transpiring. That's another distraction. I'm finding it interesting lately. Then I was doing this morning practice, and I decided I wanted to share it with you. And I get out my camera, I start reading. It's early morning for me, and so of course, maybe that is part of aging, that I'm hoarse this morning. I start reading and I'm aware of what's in the way as I try to speak clearly. But you know me, you love me, and you can listen no matter what no matter what my voice sounds like. All right? You may be experiencing some of the same things this morning. So a vast interdimensional conversion in consciousness is presently transpiring throughout every level of creation. Boom, I could stop right there. A vast interdimensional conversion in consciousness is transpiring throughout every level of creation presently. We can ponder what that even means, but let's move on. Awareness, I use that word a lot in all of my videos. We're just trying to raise our awareness. If we can raise our conscious awareness, we're changing the channel in our brain. We're changing our very vibration. If we can be gently aware, well, and we don't necessarily even have to do with anything with what we become aware of. My dear friend Karen shared with me when she works with me, and that really helps take some of the pressure off. Pause for a moment and just allow that wave of sound. You know, I've been in Arkansas for 25 plus years already, and yet I think of that sound. I don't think it's the cicadas, but whatever creature is out in summer in full force. I think of it as an evening sound, but lately I can hear it during the day, like this morning. Take as many gentleness breaks yourself. Take that drink of water. Pause to tune into the sounds around you. Pause to notice the sensations within you. Any thoughts or feelings that are present whenever you need to. Just as you'll notice I'm doing this morning. Not moving as fast as I want. My battery's going low, but we're dealing with what is, right? All right. Awareness of your involvement in this process marks the onset of shifts in-life circumstances calculated to carry you to a level of consciousness that is unprecedented in your dimension. Again, what? Unprecedented in your dimension. What does that mean? Let's keep going. As you experience these shifts and the energies carry you to ever higher levels of awareness, your attunement to the higher frequencies becomes stabilized. I love that word. It's what the whole book that I'm working on are tools for restoring balance and harmony in our lives. The video one I did this morning on a gratitude exercise is one great tool. This heart-centered exercise we're about to come to is another one. And the transition to an augmented perspective is achieved by monitoring your responses. It's like, to me, that word means like the mindfulness exercises we do. Noticing, becoming more aware, softening, creating space within us for all to exist. By monitoring your responses and catching your logical mind as it attempts to censor your experience, you allow for the optimum state of heightened sensibilities in any given moment. Oneness is so rich. I may think these are going to be short videos and I can't rush through this stuff. Sensitivity to the subtle shifts in your own energies is your barometer to the levels of experience you are able to draw to you. Experiences that evoke what you might consider to be lower emotions are magnetized to you, in part, by your conditioned tendency to sustain the familiar, diminished vibrational state. Now, those are words that we could easily jump to judgment, and I have in the past. So I'm magnetically drawing this stuff to me, maybe some unwanted outcomes. Ugh, that doesn't sound so good. It'd be easy to judge myself for doing that. A lower, diminished vibrational state by my conditioned tendencies to sustain the familiar. Oh gosh, everybody. I mean, not everybody resists change, but it's pretty normal for us humans to want to avoid suffering, and change can be uncomfortable, which can feel like suffering. It can also feel exciting and exhilarating and energizing. But we're often drawn to sustain the familiar because it's familiar, feels comfortable. And it becomes a matter of choice as to whether or not you remain at those lower energy levels and thus attract energies, experiences, and consciousness that do not necessarily support your highest potential. So in my other videos, I avoid trying to say good, bad, right, wrong. I try to use different. Higher, lower still sounds like a judgment, but hang in there with me, because I'm gonna bring it to us now. It'll say later, they're not implying any judgment. My eyes just jumped to it. In stating all of this, we do not intend to imply judgment as to the merits of particular forms of consciousness, but to point out that drawing such forces into your energy field may not serve your best interests. Now, oneness, I talk about it in other videos. It can feel like it bounces back and forth, and that all is oneness. We are infinity unfolding. The divine lives in us. It's expressing as and in the form of us. That's what my channel means. I aming as LLD. So we want to experience everything. We want to experience all of it, and there's no judgment in it. Just keep that in mind as we're reading this, if you can. You are fully responsible for your vibrational state of beingness in any given moment. Okay, and again, that has to do with level of consciousness. It's really hard to make a different choice if you're not conscious of what's happening. So maybe that's why we're reading this, because these are tools that will help make a difference. It becomes abundantly clear when you are vibrationally balanced and heart focused. Boy, I could just pause there. That's what the exercise is going to help us with. Your life experiences reflect it. Likewise, it becomes obvious both from the standpoint of how you feel and by considering your circumstances when you are operating from the lower end of your own energy spectrum. So if there's any way to neutralize that statement again, everything has a vibration to it, everything. And there is a spectrum from a lower vibration. If you want to listen to your favorite radio station, you have to tune in to that channel. I don't know a lot about hertz, but I think that's what measures, right? The level or the vibration. So of course there's a spectrum. There's vibrations that are denser, lower, and there's vibrations that are higher. Being in your heart, it's definitely going to be the highest vibration you can, I want to say achieve, but I want a different word. Pause with me and try to find a gentler word for yourself. Being heart-centered is the highest vibration you can experience. Your life experiences reflect it. Okay, we already went through there. Likewise, it becomes obvious both from the standpoint of how you feel and by considering your circumstances when you are operating from the lower end of your own energetic spectrum. Okay. It's not necessary to experience repeat performances of painful dramas simply because you have neglected to release the energy charge carried by those experiences. So I don't like the word neglected, of course, but it's telling us that we can avoid, we don't necessarily have to experience repeat performances of painful dramas in our lives. I like that. I like that message. Simply because you've neglected to release the energy charge carried by those experiences by expressing the emotions they are calculated to trigger. Gotta feel it to heal it. That's me saying that. By numbing yourself to the crescendo of your emotional responses, you nullify the charge and invite a set of parallel circumstances to be drawn to you. Now, I want to say numbing ourselves to the crescendo of emotional responses, that feels important, and that's different than being able to enter the neutral zone and be compassionate or gentle with ourselves as we let ourselves feel, so that we can heal and grow and change our vibration. The only way to end this vicious cycle of events is to become very clear about the connection between your vibrational state and the life dramas it creates for you to live out. Just hear the word vibration again. If you can gently notice, because I this is one I've been struggling with, especially when I'm around those who, like me, are aware that they are sound healers. They're practitioners. They like me know of tools to change your vibration, to raise your vibration, to change the channel in your brain, to put you in a higher state of consciousness. And in the past, I've judged that when I don't feel like I'm tracking with them or I've judged myself for not always focusing on just doing sound with you. But the loving parent guidebook that I'm using with my clients and myself right now, we're working on a whole different thing about reparenting ourselves with gentleness, humor, love, respect. And there's so much healing in that. And I got to move into the denser emotions. But even this is saying that. You can't numb yourself to the emotional responses that get triggered and arrive at a higher vibration. So hang in there. Your energy field, here's where we're getting close to this practice, in my opinion. Your energy field is both your doorway and your shield. The field you maintain around you can be vulnerable to interference by energies and consciousness that you might deem uninvited and undesirable. I think that pretty much sounds true to all of us. Yeah, there's things we're experiencing that are unwanted, undesirable. We still may not feel like we have any power to change it. And again, that has to do with level of consciousness. So you may not yet. So continue to listen with a heart of gentleness. In so stating, we do not intend to imply judgment as to the merits of particular forms of consciousness. Period. read it again. In so stating, we do not intend to imply judgment as to the merits of particular forms of consciousness, but to point out that drawing such forces into your energy field may not serve your best interests. So best in this case might just be your wanted state. But we're not judging particular forms of consciousness because only one thing's happening. And we are experiencing all of it. All of it. Okay? Random negative thought patterns on your part help to open the door to thought forms and levels of consciousness that add a diminished charge to your energy equation and help to magnetize more of the same. Law of attraction. Do with that message what you want. It is a self-perpetuating cycle that can set spinning a downward spiral of circumstances and create an ongoing series of adverse situations. Let's pause. We all know what that feels like. And I'm about to tell you the key. But I hope you've already heard it time and time and time again in this video. Heart-centered, gratitude. Video number 1 we did today. Gratitude's a great heart-centered practice that changes the channel. Just being gentle with ourselves, of being aware, noticing from a mindfulness state, a zone of neutrality, tenderness, that changes the game. Now let's see what Oneness tells us. Here's the exercise, okay? Are you ready? I want you to tune in. I don't know what you've heard before. If you have to pause, hit the pause button right now and take a few deep breaths, take a potty break, get another drink, do it. Because I really want your attention right now. All of us want to know what a key is. And I don't want this to even imply that, okay, where we're at's bad. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix ourselves. We're going to change ourselves so that we're good. You're already good, loved one. At the core of your being, you are love. Only love. Eternal love. I am love. Only love. Eternal love. Say it with me. I am love. Only love. Eternal love. That's practice enough right there. We've done it in several other videos. But I'm bringing you a oneness practice today. The key to halting and ultimately reversing such conditions lies in attaining and maintaining a state of conscious, heart-focused intent. I'm going to read it again. The key of halting and ultimately reversing such conditions that we've been reading about lies in attaining and maintaining a state of conscious, heart-centered intent, heart-focused intent. Keep listening. When circumstances deliver you to a state of being that you recognize to be unbalanced, that's what the whole book's going to be about, restoring balance and harmony. Take the opportunity to step back for a moment. We do that a lot in my mindfulness practices. In just about every video, we talk so much about that. That's what changing the channel in our brains is. Take a step back into the neutral zone, the gentleness zone. Withdraw your energies and cease conscious interaction with all that surrounds you, all that is external to the source of your own being. The word source in here is capitalized. I love that. The divine lives in you and is expressing as you and in the form of you. So withdraw your energy and cease conscious interaction with all that surrounds you, all that is external. That's what the loving parent practices, this guidebook we're working with. It's teaching us how to lovingly reparent ourselves, how to drop in and recognize when our inner child, our inner adolescent needs us to recognize our inner critical voice or inner critical parent, if you want to call it that, being very active. and inviting our own inner loving voice, our inner loving presence, our inner loving parent, the source of our own being, at the core, at the heart of us. Remember the Yoko Kan to Yoko Kab practice, the heart of the sky, Kan to the heart of the earth, Kab through our heart of hearts. Another great practice to become heart-centered. I guess this video is going to be more than one exercise practice as well. All right, I'm trying to beat the clock here and the battery running out. Okay, so allow your awareness to guide you to a place of stillness deep within. Now, I was doing this practice right before I grabbed the camera, and this is when I thought I want to share it with you. My mesa, my medicine bag full of delicious energies, minerals, gems, precious gems. You are a precious gem. The word for that in mine is tune, T-U-N, tune, tune, tune. Another heart-centered practice, tune, tune, tune. Drop, let's do it. Allow your awareness to guide you to a place of stillness deep within. Become centered in the silence of that space and breathe deeply with conscious connectedness through your heart center. So let's do it. I'm going to get quiet for a minute. Okay? So you've withdrawn from everything that surrounds you and from everything external to the source of your own being. And you're allowing your awareness to guide you to a place of stillness deep within. Becoming centered in the silence of that space. Breathe deeply with conscious connectedness through your heart center. You may not have your medicine bag with you. You may just put your hand to your heart and consciously breathe in and out through your heart. Breathe with me. I'm noticing all sorts of tension in my body. That's why you see me fidgeting, if you're paying attention. Hopefully you're not. Hopefully you have your eyes closed, or not. But you're dropped into your own stillness, your own silence. And notice if there is fidgeting, if there's tension, and see if you can release it. If you can just soften. That's what I'm doing. Not trying to force any posture, including that hand to my chest if it feels like tension. I'm just going to drop my hands into my lap. Soften them. Breathing in and out through my heart center. If there is tension you want to release, feel free to sigh it out. Imagine that you can fall, like drop in to your own being. Let your awareness just drop in to your heart center, to the stillness there, breathing in and out through the heart center. Stay with it till you get still if you can. And if you can't in this moment, if you have to move on to work, taking care of the kids, running some errands, doing some chores, watering the garden, and see if you can stay in the state of gentleness and not judging yourself for moving on. If you can, just hang in there with me until you achieve your own state of stillness. Feel yourself resting in your heart center, having withdrawn from everything external to the source of your own being. Soften the muscles in your face if you can. Release the tension in the muscles in your body. Gently notice anything that feels like a distraction and bring your attention back to your heart center. Gently bringing it back to your heart center. There's nothing wrong with your attention being drawn somewhere else. You can just notice it gently. And invite your attention, your awareness, back to your heart center. Detach your awareness from the circumstances that have engaged you and allow yourself to feel in the sanctity of that stillness the light energy of unconditional love as it fills you completely. Surrender to the sense of peace that washes over your entire being, filling you with a feeling of calm serenity. And as you bask in the sanctity of that blessed state, allow your heart to memorize it. Memorize this feeling of calm serenity, resting in your heart center. Know it as your natural state of beingness. Recognize it as a reference point, a gentle, loving reminder of who you really are, to which you can refer at will. You can come back to this state again and again and again. This place within is one that you carry with you at all times. It is a haven to which you are able to retreat whenever you choose. I love you. I love you. I love you.